In today's climate, nothing will make you a more accurate or confident shooter than Crimson Trace laser sighting systems. Get the immediate, decisive advantage of the world's only grip-integrated laser sights today. Shoot better. Stay safer. Crimson Trace.
I'm a gun owner.
Your views, advice, and questions are the driving force of Gun Talk.
You know, I don't think that guns are scary things.
Visit us online at www.guntalk.com. Call Tom now at 866-TALK-GUN, 866-825-5486. Let us know what you think about the gun-related issues of the day. Now, back to Gun Talk.
All right, glad you could be with us. I'm Tom Gresham. If you'd like to join us, it's really easy. Just dial 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. That'll get you in here. You can also shoot me an email, tom@guntalk.com. We're giving away stuff. I love to give away things. The folks at Nosler have given us a really cool rifle. Their M48 Patriot rifle. It's a great rifle. This one's in 26 Nosler. Also, you get 5 boxes of Nosler trophy-grade ammo in 26 Nosler, a loophole scope, rings and bases. Go to guntalk.com/win, and you can enter right there. Just put in your information, and, well, in just a few days now, we're going to pull a name from the electronic hat, and somebody's going to win this thing. Very cool stuff. A little bit later, we're going to be talking about this court decision in Florida where they upheld the law that says doctors cannot ask you about your firearms ownership. That's a good move. I'll tell you why that's important. And also, we're going to be talking about another court decision, this one out of D.C., where the court says the Washington, D.C. cannot ban concealed carry. It cannot ban you having a gun outside of your home. We'll see what develops on that. Probably be appealed, but we'll find out. We'll be talking with Alan Gottlieb from the Second Amendment Foundation, as well as Alan Gura, who is the lead attorney on the case. A lot of things going on. But first, in fact, right now, you know, shooting is fun, but hitting is a whole lot more fun. It's just more fun when you hit what you're shooting at. And there's a guy down in Texas who's been teaching people to shoot for literally for decades. And I've known about his program for many years. In fact, my father wrote about him in Sports Afield magazine some time ago. Leon Measures joins us right now from the Shoot Where You Look program. Hello, Leon. How are you?
Golly, I hope you didn't let your mouth overload my ability.
I'd rather doubt that. I have seen what you have done through the years, my friend, and you have taught a gazillion people to shoot, and you have such a revolutionary, different way of doing it. I wanted to have you on here to talk about it a little bit. How did you come up with the Shoot Where You Look idea in the first place?
Well, somebody gave me a BB gun when I was about 6. That had a sight missing. And I took it to the old gentleman that normally fixed our toys. He took the sight that was on it off, handed it back to me, and said, "You don't need sights on a BB gun." I assure you, at that point in my life, my options were real slim.
Okay.
I learned to shoot it by watching the BB.
Right.
Took me about 3 weeks to be the best BB gun shot in that oil camp. But amazingly, everything I learned on that BB gun transferred seamlessly to my shotgun. By the time I was 12 years old, I was awesome in the bird field.
Okay.
And grown men would ask, "How do you shoot so well?" And I'd say, "It's simple if you just shoot where you look."
Well, now, do I remember back in the, mid to late 60s, Daisy had a BB gun. They call it their Quick Skill gun. It had no sights on it. It came out of that Quick Kill program they had for folks going to Vietnam. And I used that thing, and the BB went slow enough you could see it in the air, and we threw up cans and all kind of stuff, and we got to where you could hit stuff real fast when you could see the BB.
Well, you can do the same thing now if you had the same kind of gun.
Okay.
The problem is we don't have a BB gun available that is slow enough to see the BB and accurate at the same time.
Oh.
So
okay.
we've kind of changed that up a little bit and tell folks how to do it without, all you need is a mirror and an empty shotgun, and you can do the same thing.
So what do you have people do? What do they do?
Well, you get in front of a mirror with an empty, safe shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at your nose in the mirror. That becomes the target. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
you mount your shotgun up and point it at your nose. And that's not as simple as it sounds, because you have to jiggle it around and move your head and do all sorts of things to get it to point exactly at your nose.
Okay.
First of all, you do not look at the gun.
Yes.
Let me give you a little drill real quick.
Okay.
If you will, across the room from you, what's a little bitty object that you can clearly see?
I got it.
What is it?
I got a top of a hinge of a door, just the very top little part there.
That'll work. I want you to take the arm that doesn't have your trigger finger.
Okay.
Stick it out in front of you and point your index finger at that object.
Got it.
You guys driving down the road, don't try this till you get off.
Thank you for that. Okay, I'm on it.
Okay. Now, you focus on that little object and tell me if your hand's out of focus.
Yes.
Has to be, unless you're an eagle. Now,
yeah.
Turn your finger up so you can see the fingernail.
Okay.
I want you to focus on your fingernail and tell me if the cuticle's clean. Is it?
I guess.
You got to look at it.
All right, I got it.
All right. Now, when you do that, more importantly, tell me what happens to everything across the room.
Well, two things happen. One is it goes out of focus, but the other is I lose my aim.
Well, you don't worry about your aim. You're not aiming. You're just showing.
Okay, I'm losing my focus out there.
The important part is that when you look at the end of your finger, everything beyond it's out of focus. Correct?
Correct.
Guess what happens if you ever see the front bead on a shotgun?
You lose your target.
Absolutely, and it's difficult to hit what you can't see, but thankfully the shotgun is the most forgiving tool that we use.
Well, you know what I hear you saying, and this is interesting because I've been through a fair amount of shotgun training in the past.
All right.
And this has a lot of similarities to me to what is called the English style or instinctive style, where you're looking at the target, you're mounting the gun and pulling the trigger, but you never look at the shotgun. Because as soon as you look at the barrel, you're going to stop your swing, you're going to lose everything anyway. Do you find there's some similarities there?
It's an absolute guaranteed process. If you're looking at the gun, you can't see the target.
Right.
But let me do this also.
Okay.
Well, I don't take up a whole lot of time. I want to give you an excerpt here and see if you remember or recognize it. Then I'll tell you who did it. Now, this is part of it. Will this instinctive training program really help your wing shooting? March 1, remember that. First day shotgun practice, period. On October 14, Leanne Jones raised that average to 60.8% on 1,000 registered targets to qualify for both the youth and the women's All-American teams, from nowhere to All-American in 7 months and 17 years old.
I know who wrote that, and I know when, and I know the story. My dad wrote that in Sports Afield, and I was going to hope that you were going to mention that. You took this young woman, this girl, who basically didn't shoot at all, and in 7 months you took her to the All-American team. It was unbelievable what you did with this program.
Well, and you're going to find this a lot harder to believe. She never fired on 5,000 clay targets of any kind, practice or competition.
Wow.
But she shot a wash tub full of BBs at 5 little rubber balls on a trot line hanging between 2 pin oak trees.
Because she could see where the BB was going. Sure. And what you're doing, and I'm kind of fast forwarding this, by going to the mirror, you're working on your gun mount so that you mount your gun so the barrel is lined up where you're looking. You're really working on the mount.
You're not looking at the barrel. But
right.
to prove that to yourself, next time you get a chance on a pattern board or a barbed wire fence, hang a piece of paper out there, or cardboard, mount your shotgun up and shoot a hole in it. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, the next time you mount that gun, if you have to move your head to touch the top of the stock, gun's going to shoot high. If you put more pressure on your head while go, it shoots low. So until you get that sweet little spot at your cheek lined up so that you remember it, that shotgun, you could, between 4 inches high and 4 inches low, at 30 yards, you can drive a Suburban through that pattern and it won't scratch it.
Isn't that something?
See?
All right,
Okay.
you've got you can teach this. I mean, I know you can do it in person, and you do that down in Texas, but you've also got a DVD and a book about this, right?
That's correct. And
All
I
right.
have put my book up as an e-book.
Oh.
You can get it from Amazon or Nook or any number of them. It's on the website. You can find it
Okay.
for
And
$9.99.
That's some
Less
cheap
than
training.
the price of 2 boxes of shot shells.
Well, the website is shootwhereyoulook.com. Pretty easy, shootwhereyoulook.com. You can see the information on the DVD, the book, the seminars you do. You even do consultation on the phone, and you can actually teach people to shoot on the phone, which is unbelievable, but I know you can do it.
Well, I can help them, and the kicker is that if you spend 30 minutes on the phone with me and tell me that you didn't get your money's worth, I won't charge you.
Wow.
And the call is yours. I mean, it's up to you.
Well, Leon, I know how successful you are. I mean, like I say, I have known about your program for, it seems like forever, but it's got to be at least 20 years, probably longer than that.
That article was written in April 1991. Count them.
There you go. There's 23 years right there, man. So
You want a couple more right quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Kid named C.J. Homemuth. This is in July 2004. Called me wanting money. He's a trap shooter. I ignored him. About 2 weeks later, I get another email, and I told him I'll send you something that'll do you more good than money. I'll send you a book and DVD. Well, he showed such determination that I took it upon myself and about 40 of my good friends to mentor him.
Mm-hmm.
And he shot well enough to make the ATA All-American team as a sub-junior in 2006, and I never met him.
Isn't that something? Well, I'm a believer, and look, I know I'm out of time here. In fact, I've run over my time here, but I wanted people to meet Leon Measures and the Shoot Where You Look program, because you've been doing it for so long, and it absolutely works. I mean, Leon, thank you so much. I'm so glad you spent some time with us, man.
Thank you, and be safe.
All righty, you too. Leon Measures, I'm telling you, if you want to hit clay targets, this guy's got it figured out for not very many dollars. Go to shootwhereyoulook.com. Just works. What else can you say? All right, open lines, 866-TALK-GUN. I'm Tom Gresham.
One machine, one operator. Each machine is run by a single pair of hands. Hands that spend all day, every day, learning the machine inside and out. We don't believe in quotas. The point is crafting faultless ammunition, no matter how long that takes. It's not quick or easy. Being the best never is. Black Hills Ammunition. It started with our hands.
You know the name Walther is a legendary brand, but do you know the new Walther? The new Walther has introduced 3 new precision handguns. The smooth PPQ M2 is a breakthrough in ergonomics and trigger pull. The tough PPX is a workhorse at a value price. The cool, iconic PPK S22 blends classic PPK with the fun of the economical 22 LR. There is a lot going on at the new Walther. Visit us at waltherarms.com. Walther, at your favorite retailer.
If you carry a gun, you need training. Your concealed carry class was definitely not training. But time, money, and obligations keep you from spending days at a shooting school. The trusted folks at Gun Talk can help. Concealed Carry 1, our DVD featuring the VADA Group, covers what gun, what holster, how to carry, where to wear your gun, and much more. Visit shopguntalk.com. That's shopguntalk.com. Look, this really is life and death. Learn how to stay aware, how to get away, and how to fight if you must. At shopguntalk.com, you can get the 2 DVD set, including Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. No matter what gun you carry, this vital training info can save your life. Learn the draw, the stance, reloading, vital gear from Gun Talk. That's shopguntalk.com. shopguntalk.com.
The XDM 3.8 Compact from Springfield Armory is 2 guns in 1. Use as your concealed carry gun with a compact magazine and use the extended magazine for home defense. Carry 13 rounds of 9mm in the compact magazine and a whopping 19 rounds in the extended magazine. To see the entire family of Springfield Armory XDM pistols, go to SpringfieldArmory.com. That's SpringfieldArmory.com.
Tired of paying for one concealed carry holster after another that's flimsy, hard to hide, or just plain uncomfortable? Alien Gear holsters feature a super stealthy and ultra comfortable design. Our professional quality holsters are backed by an ironclad triple guarantee, including a free 30-day test drive, free shell trades for life, and a forever warranty. Starting at just $29.88, you won't find a better quality or better price holster on the planet. Any planet. Go to aliengearholsters.com to get yours now.
Gun Talk encourages you to support the local sporting goods store, gun stores, ATV dealers, and other local businesses in your area who advertise on this station and Gun Talk. Only together can we protect our rights. You're listening to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk.
All right, just a second. We'll talk about this court decision in Florida. Basically, it says that the law that was passed in Florida that prevents doctors from asking you about your guns, that is in fact constitutional. Because the doctor said, oh yeah, that infringes upon our First Amendment rights. Oh, shut up. No, it doesn't. The only reason you're asking is so that you can then berate people and tell them how they should live their lives. It's none of your dadgum business. Treat the medical part, leave everything else alone. I don't want to hear you talking about swimming pools, cars, guns, or anything else. You worry about my medical issues and shut up about everything else. You know how this came about? As one of our Gun Talk listeners, in fact, a guy that we do business with, went to a doctor. They asked about guns, the doctor did, and our friend said, you know what? We just don't feel comfortable with that, so we're just not going to answer those questions. So the doctor fired them, said, you can't come back here. If you won't tell us about your guns, you can't come back here. So our friend went to the legislature and got the law passed that prevents doctors from doing that. And you got to understand that the American Pediatric Association has been telling its doctors for decades to ask about guns. This is a big deal for them. So if your kids go to a doctor, particularly if they're old enough where you take them and they go in to see the doctor by themselves, don't let that happen. You're always with them in there. If the doctor says, well, we got it, you can leave now. Nah, that's not going to happen. And if a doctor starts asking about, gun ownership, there are a couple of things you can say. One is you can say, before we do that, could I see your certification in firearms training? I know you got a medical diploma, but I'm not sure you got any information about guns. I'd like to see your certification on that. And the other is to keep this phrase in mind, these 2 words, boundary violation. You say, doctor, that makes me nervous, and I think it probably is a boundary violation, and I really wish you would move on, because we're not going to talk about that. Boundary violation are highly charged words. Those are the things where doctors get charged with ethics violations for going outside the bounds of the doctor-patient relationship. So when you use the word boundary violation, you get somebody's attention. All right, way to go, Florida. Cool deal. I'm glad the court upheld that. Let's see here. David on line 3 out of Shreveport, Louisiana. Hey, David.
Hey, Tom. How are you?
Good. What gun you looking for?
Well, I was interested in the LWC camp, the 380. Wanted to see what you knew about it. I saw one at a gun show here a couple of years ago, and it looks like a Swiss watch. It feels like a fine piece of equipment, and I was curious about. I didn't get to shoot it, so I'm curious about what you think of it.
All right, the C-Camp, it's SEECAMP, for those who are wondering what we're talking about. They started off making a 32, and I see now they have a 380 in the same size gun. This is a teeny, tiny auto-loading pistol. Straight blowback pistol. They call it a retarded blowback. It weighs nothing. It's 11 ounces. It's itty-bitty. It has no sights whatsoever. They don't even pretend to put sights on it. No groove, no knots, no nothing. You just look over the top of it. That's for when you're holding on to the guy with one hand and you're shooting him with the other. That's the kind of distance we're talking about. I have a 32 C-Camp. It has always worked for me. I've never had any problems with it. If they're expensive, the MSRP on the 380 is about $800. Now, whether or not you want that one versus, say, an LCP Ruger or one of the others along those lines, that's, personal call. But I have never heard anything negative about it other than it often takes a long time to get a C-Camp once you order it. They seem to be always back ordered.
Yeah, I can't seem to find them anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, that's the drill there. So I've had mine for a long time, and I've had people say, you want to get rid of that one? No, I like it. I'm not getting rid of it. I mean, I got a lot of other small guns, but I don't have anything that is this small in that big, I mean, not big, but a 32, that big of a cartridge. The only thing that's that small I have is the North American Arms 22 revolvers, and I would much rather have a 32. So, look, if you want to put an order in for one and, wait a year or whatever the wait is these days, why not? I think they're well made, and it's a cool thing. And when you say, I've got a C-Camp, very knowledgeable shooters will go, oh, really? You've got one of those, huh? You know what? That's worth something to you, too. I like that. Let's appreciate the call, David. Hey, guys, let's drop all the way down to line 4. Talk to Dan out of Connecticut because Dan has a testimonial for Leon Measures. Hey, Dan, talk to me.
Hey, Tom, how you doing?
Talk to me about Leon.
I want to congratulate you for having Leon on. He's a great man, and it's a hell of a program that he has. My experience was I had gone down to Austin and went to a clay field and shot with a buddy of mine. I hadn't shot in years, and it was embarrassing. So when I came back home, I decided I was going to take up shooting, clay shooting, and hopefully some wing shooting. Mm-hmm. And I found Leon's course online. I ordered it and went through the program, and then went down to a 5-stand field, and went from 1% shooting to about 60% shooting. And I'd never shot. I hadn't shot a shotgun except for that first experience on that 5-stand field.
That is outstanding. I really appreciate the testimony. I'm sorry that we're out of time, but man, I'm glad we were able to get you in. Yeah, that's shootwhereyoulook.com. Now there's testimony for you.
One of Talker Magazine's 100 most important radio talk show hosts in America. You're listening to Gun Talk, heard every week at this time on great radio stations across America. Stay tuned. Gun Talk is coming right back. Covering all aspects of gun ownership every week on this fine radio station. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
I'm sure by now you have heard about the murder that took place in the hospital in Philadelphia. Psychiatric outpatient goes in, shoots and kills the caseworker, then shoots the doctor, grazes him in the head, whereupon the doctor reaches into his desk, pulls out his own pistol, and shoots the patient. End of problem. But not end of story. Interesting, the take on this. And of course, it was inevitable that eventually there would be those who come back and say, well, why did a doctor have a gun in his office? To which millions of us said, that's why. Did you not just hear the story? He's working with crazy people. He knows the people he's working with. The man came in and killed the woman, shot the doctor. Who knows what else he was going to do? That's why he had a gun. I actually had to laugh on CNN a couple of days ago. In the morning gaggle, they're yakking about this. They had the story, and then their little group is yakking about it. And of course, they always like to do a lot of hand-wringing, and then they finish up with, wow, it could have been so much worse. And the other one says, yes, it could have been so much worse. And then they go to the commercial, and I'm shouting, yes, it could have been so much worse if he had not had a gun. It's beyond their ability to go there. He stopped what could have been a mass shooting. He had a gun. And it's entirely possible he's going to lose his job. But he did not lose his life. Gun-free zone more than likely. To which, obviously, a lot of people have said, I don't care. I want to come home alive. We'll worry about the job later. Wow. Okay, let's have range reports. Line 2, Jay's out of Cedar City, Utah, talking about long-range ammo. What's up, Jay?
Hey, how are you, Tom? Great show. Just to cover that Chicago deal, I'm very proud of that doctor, I'll tell you that.
No kidding. I mean, you know...
Yeah. What the hell? And what's wrong with the rest of Chicago? That poor idiot mayor can't put the clamps down on anybody that, you know, is going to shoot anybody in that, you know, about a 5-block area in the south of Chicago.
Oh yeah, this actually happened in Philadelphia. The doctor.
Yeah, right. Situation. Yeah, but what's wrong with Chicago? Oh my goodness.
we don't have time for that. What's wrong with Chicago?
I just got to get a shout out to Sig Sauer. I just bought a new P938, and it came with a nice laser system on it and everything. It's a wonderful little 9mm. Shoots great. Yeah. Hey, where do I get the 300 mag long range stuff? You know, from a factory that's going to be shooting good for me. Is it Black Hills only, or where else can you go? 300
Win Mag?
Yeah.
I think Black Hills has it. I think also, I want to say that Nosler may have it now, but I'd have to go to the website and check. But I know Black Hills does, and I would have to check to see if Barnes or Nosler has it. Because what you're looking for is something that has good long-range, high ballistic coefficient bullets, I take it.
That's right. Yeah, not for hunting especially, but for, you know, for target, you know, for reaching out, you know, 8 to 1,000 yards, you know.
Yeah, you know, because there's a lot of competitions at 1,000-yard shooting now, which is tons of fun. So
exactly, right.
Let me look
I was thinking, I was thinking about a 220 grain load in it. I don't know if they make them. Does anybody make those?
I don't know that you need. Oh yeah, look here. Nosler has their 300 Winchester mag with 190 grain. That is the Accubon long range. That would be a really nice rig. I don't know that you need 220 grain for this, but and at least not in the 300 Win mag. If you're shooting like a 30 378 Weatherby mag, you'd have enough velocity, but probably somewhere in the 180 190 range would be where I would look at. But check Black Hills, check Nosler, check Barnes, and do a little poking around. You'll find some good long-range ammo out there for that, and that's the key. Listen, I appreciate the call, sir. I got to keep them moving here. We've got Chris, who is in Wyoming, on line 1. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Tom. First of all, I'd like to thank you guys for you and everybody behind the scenes for putting on a great show and getting out the good word.
Well, thank you.
And second, I got a range report for you.
Tell me.
I went to a tactical rifle shoot in Cody, Wyoming, just yesterday, and it was a blast. Moving and shooting, really testing your skills and the skills of the.
Was that the first time Was that the first time you'd ever been to a shoot like that?
Oh no, I shoot USPSA normally.
Okay.
I consider myself a handgun guy, so.
Isn't that range at Cody a good one? I love that range.
It's getting better than they've had issues in the past, but they're getting way better every day.
They've been working on it, and for me, of course, you live out there, but for me, coming from the south, I go out there. I just love the terrain. I love the layout. So I've been to a number of good events out there. But what's your takeaway after going to this event in terms of practice and shooting and doing, kind of moving and speed shooting with ARs?
Well, it really helps to test your gear before you go. I was really fortunate because I shot the USPSA matches so much, and we all call it gaming when you start buying a better magazine pouch to shave a second off your reload.
Right.
And then mess with the placement of it. It really shows the people that prepared for it and the people that didn't. There's a big gap there.
Well, and you learn a lot. I mean, you find out what parts of your gear work, what doesn't work, you start figuring, okay, I'm going to get this and this. And, of course, you got to make the decision, and I appreciate the call, sir. You got to make the decision, am I going to gear up just for the game, or am I going to take what I learned here and apply it to self-defense, that type of deal? And you could go at any level you want. Understanding that if you're going to use it for pure training, you're not going to be totally competitive. You're not going to win matches if you use good tactics, but you will be improving your skills, and you'll learn a lot about what part of your gear, optics, guns, accessories, mags, what works for you, and more importantly, what doesn't work when you get in a hurry. It's worth going. I mean, I would encourage anybody to go do that. All right, 866-TALK-GUN. When we come back, let's talk a little bit about revolvers. We've got a question about what's the closest thing today to the Colt Python. You having a thought on that? Maybe an opinion on if you're going to pick out a revolver to go with, which one would you go with? 866-TALK-GUN.
At Double Tap Ammunition, we hand inspect every round that we make, and we use only the best components to give you the best ammunition on the market. Try us out at www.doubletapammo.com and use the promo code GUNTALK for 10% off your order.
TopGunSupply.com carries a large selection of fine firearms and accessories. Get all the parts you need for your Sig Sauer, HK, and Glock pistols. Grips, screws, recoil springs, sights, barrels, magazines, holsters. The list goes on. Our knowledgeable sales staff, professional service, great prices, and super fast shipping are here to help you. Check us out today. TopGunSupply.com. TopGunSupply.com.
In the war on terror, fighting crime in the streets, in competition and homes around the world, one name in firearms stands out: Sig Sauer. Our pistols and rifles are renowned for their unfailing performance. This same commitment to excellence can be found in our line of SigTac accessories and the training offered by the Sig Sauer Academy. For unmatched quality, reliability, and innovation when it counts, choose Sig Sauer. Visit SigSauer.com today.
Hi, I'm Tom Gresham. For more than 40 years, I've been watching an environmental disaster in my backyard, and it actually impacts all sportsmen in America. I'm talking about the massive loss of land on the Louisiana coastline. The U.S. Geological Survey said the swamps and marshes of coastal Louisiana are among the nation's most fragile and valuable wetlands. That land is disappearing. The Mississippi River Delta hosts as many as 10 million ducks and geese every winter. These are birds which migrate northward through the states, all the way to Canada. The wetlands of the Delta support some of America's best fresh and saltwater fishing. And here's the deal. The wetlands of the Mississippi River Delta are disappearing at a rate of 1 football field every hour. 1 football field every hour. Gone. We can reconnect the river with its wetlands and restore the Delta, but we need your help. Please visit vanishingparadise.org. That's vanishingparadise.org.
Accurate, powerful, consistent. At Double Tap Ammunition, we offer 364 loads in 83 calibers that give you exactly what you've been looking for. Try us out at www.doubletapammo.com and use the promo code GUNTALK for 10% off your order.
A famous radio consultant once said he'd be off the air in a year. Whoops! Defending your Second Amendment rights since 1995 on over 150 radio stations nationwide. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
All right, back with you. Let's go straight to line 3. David's out of Connecticut. He's got a question about the Colt Python and what's available today. What's up, David?
Hey, first-time caller. Great show. I listen all the time.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've got a couple of Pythons, and it's probably, I think it's my favorite revolver anyway in my total collection. Mm-hmm. And I'd like to get another one, but as you know, they're pretty pricey, and I just didn't know if you had an opinion on what's the closest, current production model that would match the Python in terms of all of its great features.
Well, the primary great feature of a Colt Python, at least in my view, and I'd love to get your take on it, is the double-action trigger pull. It's just silky smooth.
Yeah, I would totally agree.
Yeah, because, the Smith & Wessons have, a lot of guns have a great single-action trigger pull. You cock it, and they got a great trigger pull. I would say the problem is you're still going to be at a price level because that's just what it takes to get that kind of quality. Yeah. Probably revolvers out of the Smith & Wesson Performance Center would be, in terms of just straight from a factory without going to a gunsmith. The Performance Center turns out some pretty fabulous, cool guns.
Okay, well, that's good to know. Just searching around, I think, well, I'd like to pick up another one. Heck, I may even buy another Colt, but didn't know if there was anything out there that, something that came off the line like those did, because they weren't anything special as far as manufacturer, at least in my understanding, and they just turned out to be a great handgun. Yeah, they really did, and we miss them. Every time I talk to Colt, I ask them, and they go, well, maybe, I don't know, and which leads me to think probably not as far as bringing it back. But yeah, take a look, go online, look at the Smith & Wesson website at the revolvers out of their Performance Center. Those are some pretty sweet guns. All right, appreciate your opinion. Thanks.
Absolutely. Mike's in Oregon on line 2. Mike, what's this question you got?
Okay, well, first of all, I want to say Gold Gottlieb and Gura and the SAF there. That was a great victory once again.
No kidding.
Okay, now how did I realize firing when the bolt is closed on a especially a high pressure firearm. But how do you fire with an open bolt on a firearm, especially probably automatic?
All right, here's the deal: open bolt versus closed bolt. We're talking about either full automatic or semi-automatic, and that's all we're talking about here. A closed bolt, the bolt is down, and when you pull the trigger, the firing pin goes forward and fires the gun. On an open bolt design, you pull the charging handle back and the bolt locks to the rear. When you pull the trigger, the bolt flies forward, strips a round out of the magazine, and when they all go into the barrel, the firing pin hits the round and it goes off. On a full auto, if you keep holding the trigger down, it just keeps going off. On a semi-auto, it goes off one time. The advantage of an open bolt design, two things really. One is that they're simple and cheap to make. And two is that in a full auto, you're not going to have a round sitting in the barrel that has gotten really, really hot and could possibly cook off. The round could just go off from the heat, because the round doesn't go into the barrel until you pull the trigger. So
well, thanks a lot, Tom.
All right, appreciate it.
The right guy.
There you go. In fact, we in about 3 weeks, you'll be able to see slow motion video on our Gun Talk show of shooting a Thompson 45 a full auto Thompson. When you see it in slow motion, you get the whole open bolt thing. It looks pretty cool. It works very well. Let's see. Line 1, Kent is in Texas. Hello, Kent.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
First-time listener. I just wanted to give a shout-out to Charlie over at East Texas Rifle and Pistol Club. He's a range master. I was out there yesterday messing around. He was the one that told me about your show and really enjoying it.
Oh, wow. That's cool. Well, thanks to Charlie and thanks to you. You're first-time listener, huh?
Yes, sir. I'm really enjoying the show, and I thought I'd just call and say, hey.
Well, I appreciate it. Let me tell you, we archive our shows, which means they're all online. So if you want to listen to some past shows, you can just go to our website, guntalk.com, then /listen, and you can find the link that takes you to where all the past shows are, and you can waste days of your life listening to Gun Talk. Thank you for the call. I appreciate that, and thanks to Charlie. Yeah, we get a lot of folks at ranges say, you might want to listen to this radio show because you got questions, and we got a lot of answers. Sometimes we actually get lucky. We get a right one now and then, but, there you go. If you got a range report, we'd love to get that. 866-TALK-GUN, and just in a few minutes, we're going to be talking about this incredible court decision out of D.C. It is a big one, a big win for us.
Gun Talk stands for safety, personal responsibility, and common courtesy. To be a part of the show, call 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Gun Talk will be right back.
All right, back with you. 866-TALK-GUN. That'll get you in here. Let's see. Steve has called in. Oh, what? He didn't. He just left a message. Said he wanted to know if Ruger plans to introduce a smaller commander size 1911. The thing about Ruger is they don't tip their hand because they are publicly traded and they can't tell you ahead of time what they're going to do. So I don't know for sure. They do have a 5 1/4 inch barrel 1911. You may not be aware of that one. You might go on their website, Ruger.com, and take a look. But yeah, they make real nice 1911s. Ray is on line 4 in Utah. Hello, Ray. How you doing, man?
Hey, Tom. Doing great. I drive a truck and I listen to you about every Sunday.
Wonderful.
I just wanted to put in a comment on that shoot where you look deal.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of taught myself to do that many years ago with a 22.
Uh-huh.
I lived in a part of the country where you could shoot about any direction you wanted to, and at that time, and it wasn't very populated. And I took a lot of practice and a heck of a lot of ammunition, but I was shooting a Marlin Golden 39A, which I still own,
mm-hmm.
and I could hit just about anything that I wanted to shoot at, whether it was moving, flying, sitting still, running, whatever it was doing. I can say without bragging that I was really pretty good with it.
Well, it's amazing what happens when you shoot a lot. As you're talking, I was thinking about when I grew up, my dad would buy us cases, literally cases of BBs, and I would shoot anywhere from 300 to 500 rounds a day through a 6 to 8 month period. I mean, every single day I was shooting that much. And it's kind of like you say, I got to where if I could see it, I could hit it. It just really was as simple as that. I could just throw the gun up and I didn't have to aim. I didn't have to do anything. And if it was and I talk about just a regular old lever action BB gun, not a pump up or anything else. And the target could have been 40 yards away where you've got a 3-foot drop. You know, you shoot 500 times a day, you get to know where everything shoots, and it works. So I appreciate that. Of course, the thing that makes Leon's system work is it's about shotgun. It's about wing shooting. And as he's talking about this, and by the way, if you just tuned in, we're talking about the Leon Measures and his Shoot Where You Look program. That's the website, shootwhereyoulook.com. It is very similar to the English style where they say, just look at the target, never see the barrel. Here's the deal. If you see the barrel, you're about 99% guaranteed to miss. Because when you start, your focus comes back to the barrel, guess what you do? You stop your swing. Because you're trying to lock in. You go, okay, I got the perfect sight alignment. There's a lot of zen in wing shooting, a lot of trust involved. And if you'll just look at the target, swing, and then here's the other thing. I'm going to tell you, this is a key if you want to hit more targets. As you get to the target, right before you pull the trigger, start extending the lead. Swing through it and swing away from it, so you're actually swinging the gun away from the target when you pull the trigger. If you'll do that, you'll start to take targets, and it just works, I'm telling you. So, yeah, we've got this doctor in Philadelphia who saved his life and I don't know how many other lives because he shot a patient. The patient came in, killed the caseworker, tried to kill the doctor. Doctor shoots him, and people are going, well, what in the world was a doctor doing with a gun in his office? You want to say, this. He was preparing for this because he knew this could eventually happen, and no one would be there if this happened. Only he would be here if this thing happened. So when it happened, this thing, he was able to stop it by shooting his attacker. That's why he had a gun in his office. And I guarantee you that wasn't the first time he thought of it. He had been there mentally. When we come back, we're going to be talking about this incredible case out of Washington, D.C. with the people who brought the case. Big news, big news.
No black helicopters here, just the facts about gun rights and gun ownership. This is Gun Talk.